Hello, Internet, and welcome to the SaR Podcast. My name is Mortinian, and we hold tight our buns, for our buns we do hold dear. This week on the podcast, we do not have Heimdall because he is busy helping someone with a wedding like the wonderful person that he is, but it's okay because we've replaced him with his eye from the movie where a wonderful actor played him. And, yeah, there you go. That's how we're showing our love for him this week. And in place of Thorin, who had to cancel at the last minute, we have Ike Fox being a boss. So I'm going to go through normal introductions. I'm SaR Mortinian. Once again, you're watching this on my channel. I'm a YouTuber who does gaming, geek, nerd videos and a vlog. Subscribe to me here. Also, check me out on Twitter at SaR Mortinian and Facebook at SaR Mortinian.
Hello YouTube, I am SaR Tree God. You can find me on YouTube at SaR Tree God. You can find me on Facebook at SaR Tree God. You can find me on Instagram if you know my real name. And yeah, so that's the thing. Do videos as well. Lots of fun, and I'm here every week. So, you know, is what it is.
Hi, I'm Ike Fox. Yeah.
That's very detailed and exactly what we were looking for. Okay, first announcement, only announcement really, before we get started, is the first thing in the description down below is the contest that I mentioned briefly last week. It is for a Guns of Icarus Online Steam key and the ability to play with the SaR crew in Guns of Icarus Online for whatever we happen to film. The contest is still live. If you have a Facebook or a Twitter, you might as well contest. There's 2 entries right now. I do not know who they are. That's the way Rafflecopter works as opposed to the other one that I used. So you only got 2 people to fight against. You might as well go for it. Once again, that's going to be in the description down below. But then past that, unless anyone else has any other fancy announcements, we'll be on to our topics. No fancy announcements. Excellent. First interesting topic. Out of all of the horrible things that EA does, recently they have announced that Sims 2 and all 18 of the Sims 2 expansions will be free on Origin very soon, if not at this point already. Sims 2, as I'm sure you all know, is a very popular game that sucked the life out of many people. Many friends that I held dear died. No. But they're actually giving away free games, presumably in an attempt to not make people hate them, but they are doing it via Origin. So I don't know if I want them.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I can't be like, I don't have an Origin account, because I do, for Titanfall. But thoughts?
Don't waste your life.
So is Origin like the EA equivalent of Steam or something?
That's exactly what it is. EA realized that Valve was making lots of money because they had a really good idea that they used properly, and so they decided to remove all of their future titles from Steam, which is why you can't play Mass Effect on Steam, Mass Effect 3 specifically. And they made Origin, which everyone hates, and there was this big, right when it came out, there was this huge privacy debacle where there was a section in the Origin terms of use that allowed them to, at any time, access any file in their computer. Oh, also, they owned the files. And, yeah, that's the primary reason why people hate Origin. I still hate Origin. They've fixed that. It's not a thing anymore. But it's the kind of mindset EA has with things. I do not like paying them money or using their products. Yeah. For those of you wondering, this is milk. I'm a healthy boy.
Mm-hmm. It's arsenic and cyanide laced with milk.
Okay, look. Just because I can't die, and am in fact a skeleton with a flaming head wearing a flesh mask for everyone's benefit.
I thought you were a space zombie.
Well, yes,
with like spoons for hands and
not spoons for hands.
No, you totally had spoons for hands.
No.
That you could scoop up the sherbet that you pooped. I have this all written down if you want me to go get it again.
That was your interpretation of the actuality of the space zombie that is Mortinian. not the reality. I have normal skeleton hands under my meat suit. Like, look, this is why all of my shirts cut off like just before the elbow. It's a skin suit. There's nothing there.
Yeah, I bet so.
You know it's true.
So
anyway. Yeah. But anyway, so on The Sims 2, first of all, did you all play The Sims 2? Second of all,
Yes.
darn right. What was your favorite expansion, if any, to The Sims 2?
I didn't play any of the expansions. I played the original, and I let it soak up way too much of my life, and so I stopped.
You didn't even get the college expansion? Where you could
No. Screw that. I spent enough time locking people in the bathroom until death came for them.
So you were like The Sims, but the Saw guy.
Oh, absolutely. Like, lock them in the basement, give them nothing but breadcrumbs to eat, see how long it takes them to starve. You know.
You're terrible.
I let up. Well, it was better than a magnifying glass and ants.
Marginally. Anyway, Ike, for yourself?
I haven't played Sims 2, so...
Well, in that case, I know what you're doing right now. Because that's a travesty. You're going to go download Origin and play The Sims 2.
I don't want to download Origin, though.
Okay, they can't... When I said that thing, I want to double verify and point out it was at the initial inception. Origin had issues. Now it's functional, other than that it crashes a lot. Because EA made it instead of Valve.
So it's functional.
Yeah.
Yeah, functional. Good enough.
They put the fun in dysfunctional.
Trademark.
Trademark.
That really should be EA's trademark, though. And for those of you watching this podcast, if you don't know how much we as a group at Shenanigans and Ridiculosity dislike EA as a company, not necessarily their games or their sub-companies, but EA, the whole, you're deaf. You're deaf, dumb, and blind. We hate them so much.
Oh, but you can sure play in some mean pinball.
Pinball?
Pinball Wizard?
Oh.
The song? You said that they're deaf, dumb, and blind?
I'm disowning
joke.
you.
It's a joke.
I'm
The internet gets it.
So hard. I am disowning you. God. So see, another topic of just generality. Man, I had some of these topics tailored for people who aren't here today. I'm just judging them so hard. Here's a good one. We have... I can't remember the name of the satellite dish, but do you all remember in James Bond GoldenEye that gigantic satellite dish? It's like built into a valley down in somewhere in South America or Central America somewhere.
Heck yes.
It's awesome and glorious. And Ike, if you're not familiar with it, you should go look it up because it looks cool. When I watched that movie for the first time, I was like, man, that's a really good set they made. And it wasn't a set at all. It's an actual place. They, from there, detected a radio burst from outer space. It's part of... that satellite dish does very much what the SETI program does in the United States, and it's looking for alien life and signals and doing science. Nebulously, it's doing science. And they've detected a very large radio burst from somewhere because it's difficult to identify along a single beam the distance that it came from. And this happens rarely, but when it does happen, everyone goes, is that aliens? Guys, did we find aliens? Is it aliens this time? And so, I'd just like to ask about aliens. Aliens is a topic. Go. Talk about them. They're pretty.
Well, real quick, I want to make a small segue because Nathan Cully liked my pinball joke, and that makes me happy. So, suck it, Mort. Someone liked the pinball joke.
I'm glad he liked the pinball joke.
You disowned me for the pinball joke.
Yes, I did, but I'm glad someone liked it. Just because I didn't like it doesn't mean that it's not a good joke.
So, aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah.
I wish I had my hair longer so I could puff it up and say aliens.
Aliens. Whoa.
So I guess first question, do you think this time it's aliens?
mean, it's possible, but
I subscribe to a thing in science where when we don't know something, I just choose the coolest answer and believe it until it's proved or disproved.
yeah, fair enough.
So I want it to be aliens.
I mean, if we don't know what it is, you're gonna probably be wrong whatever you guess, so might as well guess it's the coolest, so...
Exactly. But
Makes
in fairness, it could be a big supernova or a gamma ray burst or all sorts of different cosmological events that are happening somewhere. But come on, man, aliens. Let's just find them. Let's find them because that'll give us another reason to reach for the stars again instead of just chilling out on the moon once and then being like, all right, we're done. Let's send like tin cans to Mars to pretend like we still care.
I prescribe to the belief that it is the first notification of the power of the Green Lantern Corps, and we simply have to trace the signal back. And then we will find the center of the galaxy. We will find Oa. And there, I mean, there will be aliens there, but it won't be an alien symbol or signal. It will actually just be, radiant cosmic energy from the Green Lantern Corps. And then, then I can become a space cop.
You just want to be a Green Lantern.
Shut up. That's not true.
Well, you know what? You get to believe in your coolest thing just like I get to believe that it's aliens and that they're like... Here's what I want to believe. They're aliens and they're like right now going through the Industrial Revolution, World War One-ish. And so radios are just becoming a thing and they're like, radios! And just sending them off into space because they don't know.
So we should send off a signal back to them saying, look out for that space Hitler. He's a real card.
Exactly. Except that it will have taken like so many decades for their signals to have gotten to us. So by the time we send it to them, they're like now. Just being like, yeah, man, thanks for the warning about space Hitler. Gosh.
No, we'll just boost our signal by sending, diverting the navsats through the, whatever the quote is from Firefly.
The speed of light is the speed of light, tree god. Yeah, it's a hard calf.
I think, did we lose Mr. Ike?
Pretend we didn't. We'll just keep going.
For a brief moment.
Yeah, we got Ike back. Hi, Ike.
Nebulously back, possibly. Are you still on that mystical, like, hostile internet?
Yeah.
Yep.
Apartment internet, yeah.
Yeah, hostile internet, yeah.
I'll be normal internet in 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Are we really that close to school?
Weeks.
Space Jew's already dead. Oh, that was too soon.
I'll be heading back home in a couple weeks.
Okay, and then you'll go back to school.
We'll be finishing up, so...
Remind me at some point that
yeah.
The Whitcon dice.
I'll be back.
There's some lag involved here.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So remind me at some point the Whitcon dice from Whitcon, all those extras. I accidentally, and by I accidentally, I mean someone in my family when we were packing accidentally put them in a box. So they've just been sitting on our counter. I need to send those back to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. One of those things. One of those things that's got to happen. Okay, well, let's see here. Next topic. Here's one. The Avengers: The Age of Ultron is...
I may have... What?
Okay, this is horrific.
Now I'm having problems seeing your video, Mort.
Seeing my video?
Okay, I guess it was just on my little preview thing.
Yeah.
Okay, but still. I think internet in general just hates our podcast today.
It's quite possible. Like, the internet as a whole. in its entire like location and happiness. It's just not going for it. But that's okay. We will be back next week, and the internet will hopefully not hate us, maybe? I'm going to say nebulously.
Yeah, who knows?
I'm going to pretend. Heimdall won't be helping someone plan a wedding because the wedding will be planned, because that's what he's doing today. He's such a bamf, guys. Heimdall can sit down and plan a wedding in like 3 minutes, but it's an hour and a half drive, so that's why he's going to take so long.
Yeah. So you're saying Age of Ultron?
Yes, Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron has gotten so far as they've actually popped out a couple of trailers, I believe it was, at the SDCC, and shown like kind of they're getting to the point where they're starting to show actual like footage
Scenes
that matters
from the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Which means they're in post-production. It's getting close. And I think they actually have that. Yeah, they have Age of Ultron dated already, but it's so close. I can feel it. And I'm going to hand it off to Tree God here for ideas about what's probably going to be in Age of Ultron, because I want to know. Just like from the title, nothing but the title, knowing as much as you do about comics. Make guesses and wild accusations.
What's going to be from Age of Ultron? Well, as we all know, Ultron is crazy robotics monstrosity. Think the DC equivalent of Brainiac, but more robotic. It's basically like what would happen if Terminators came to Marvel Universe. So ultimately, I think what we're looking at here is since it's called Age of Ultron, I think they're going to start transitioning into more of the end of the world scenarios. I mean, I know that Avengers 1 was kind of already in an end of the world scenario in a little bit, but they contained it to like a couple square blocks in New York City. So, I mean, it really it threatened the end of the world, but it never actually like got off its feet. Versus Ultron, depending on which version you're looking at, he can, like, at one point he goes on, in one of the comic books, he actually goes on the helicarrier and hacks S.H.I.E.L.D. in its entirety.
Well, the helicarriers are all down now, right? That got taken care of in Captain America.
Well, no, all of the, like, super helicarriers that were, like, designed to kill everything went down. But the main helicarrier should still be operational. I mean, I don't think they showed it crashing at all. So, I mean, the helicarrier from the Marvel Universe should still be intact. And if it is still intact, then I can totally see them playing up on the, because now that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been disbanded, they'll, bring it back somehow. They're not going to keep S.H.I.E.L.D. down from, I guess, spoiler alert, Captain America 2, but if you haven't seen it,
if you haven't seen Captain America 2 at this point, it's like it's not in theaters anymore.
So at this point, I think that you are it's your own fault for having not seen it. So, I don't know. So essentially, I believe that they'll go that route. Ultron takes over the helicarrier while S.H.I.E.L.D. is attempting to rebuild itself, and the Avengers are called in and they bring it to a higher level of danger, actual world destruction beginning. Mm-hmm. And then they put him down, which would easily lead into, because the bad guy at the end of the first movie, Thanos, there's been a lot of speculation about why he would actually look back at the Earth again, if he doesn't in the second movie. Because, I mean, like, he doesn't. We haven't heard anything about Thanos for the second movie. So why would he take interest in Earth beyond Earth, like being a good conquest, if he's going to give Ultron the time to do what Ultron wants to do, and all the time that expanded during, Captain America 2, it's like, why would he really give a crap? Well, Ultron doing some actual damage to the planet, and, softening them up so that Thanos can come in and get an assured victory, like that would be a reason for him to be like, oh, the mighty have fallen slightly. All right, time to come in and wipe them out.
Let's take this mighty mallet of Thanos
and just
beat them with it.
Slam it down on them, which would be a great way to transition into Avengers 3. And you got to know that these guys already have like a billion freaking interconnecting plot lines from all of the different movies already in their heads. So it makes sense that number 2 is going to bleed beautifully into number 3. It just does.
I would imagine.
So yeah, that's my take on the movie. And I haven't seen the clips from Comic-Con, but
I haven't either. I'm pretty sure that we weren't supposed to see them. They were aired in Hall H, just like well, I'll get to it in just a minute. But another one of my topics, there's a lot of things that people were able to see at Comic-Con, but you could only see them at Comic-Con.
And then there were a lot of illicit videos that got leaked to the internet that show those things.
And get crushed quickly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out there. I mean, the site that I'm on, MovieWeb, which, by the way, great site. I love MovieWeb. They're really, really good at keeping us informed on
Don't
things.
advertise. Is it a video place like YouTube?
No.
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
They talk about like what's coming for movies.
Ooh, I'm gonna go there then. Advertisement.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't think. Yeah, they have. It's basically like a news website for upcoming movies. So, and I love them. They keep me up to date on everything that I need to. It's basically like IMDb, but with some news.
I could see that.
Yeah. And they don't have any like real videos of Age of Ultron's up. So I guess you'll have to go find the illicit copies out on the internet. But point being, it looks like it's going to be great. So
yeah. I can't wait. I mean, Joss Whedon did such a good job with Avengers 1. I can't imagine Avengers 2. Like, even if everything falls apart effectively comparing the two movies, it can't be that bad. It just... No. They would have to, like, hire M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
And tell him to basically do that one movie that never got made. About the Airbenders.
Yep.
And just like do that again because they want it to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of that's going to happen. So we should end up coming out of there relatively intact. One would think.
One would hope.
So next topic, speaking of like happy dappy teaser trailers that have been coming out. I don't know how many have either of you heard about the Warcraft movie?
I have.
You have? Okay. So,
I didn't know that was leaked though.
I don't think that it's been. This one I actually did try and find an illicit copy, and I couldn't find anything this morning. Granted, but it's a movie that has kind of been in the works for several years. This is for Ike's benefit and the internet, I suppose, because. I'm not talking to each one of you. You're gonna hear it anyway. And it's been in development for several years. It's, if I recall correctly, the time frame is after the Dark Portal's been opened, but before the events of definitely before the events of World of Warcraft and before many of the events in the Warcraft games. I don't know exactly where it falls, but it's still where like the orcs have not founded Orgrimmar yet. They're not really there. Like in everything I've seen mentioned of it, they don't say the Horde is doing a thing. They say the orcs are doing a thing. So it's still the nations of the Horde are spread out and doing their own stuff.
There's still individual races versus the Horde.
Exactly. And likewise, humans are not part of the Alliance yet. They're just humans. I think that Lordaeron and Gilneas and Stormwind, all those kingdoms are still just the kingdoms.
Could this be about the creation of the Alliance and the Horde? Like, do you think that they would do that? Like, actually go through that timeline of the alliance being forged?
Quite possibly, simply because if I recall correctly, the movie's going to look at both sides, and what they wanted to do with the movie was show that there are like two civilizations that are going to come to a head at a war. No, it won't be the Alliance and Horde forming, because it's going to be like leading up to basically Warcraft, orcs, and humans.
Okay.
So hardcore, like old school gaming, as I'm thinking about it.
But that's a good way to like bring in the next generation.
Oh yeah.
Get them way at the beginning, and then like build them into it.
And then get a whole bunch of people to be like, this is what World of Warcraft is about? Awesome! Then they go in and see pandas. And then they're just like, what in God's name happened between this movie and this game? I am so lost.
Hey, but, you know, as long as you've seen Kung Fu Panda and Kung Fu Panda 2, like, you don't mind the pandas so much. Like, I respect the panda civilization and how similar they are to the people in Kung Fu Panda, because that movie was amazing.
Though, to be fair, the Pandaren were created before Kung Fu Panda.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know.
Not in the game, but like as a concept and a background lore that they had just been joking about for a long time, and then the fans were screaming, we want pandas.
Yeah, I mean, but the movie did so well that it builds a respect for them, so they're not just a giant joke.
That's true. But yeah, so all that being said, the movie at Comic-Con in Hall H, the teaser trailer was a thing. Like, people got to watch the trailer, which is how I know so much about the plot, is because it was being discussed by people who had watched the trailer, and they were trying to keep it as loose as possible so it didn't spoil too much. But a whole bunch of people got to see the first legit thorough footage of Warcraft, the movie. I hate them, but because I was working, I was just sitting there like giving people garlic rosemary chicken and then talking about how they were very rude back in the service station. But that's okay. I'm not bitter.
I'm not at all bitter.
But the good news, things we know, is that they finished filming the actual movie in May. So they are now solidly in post-production. They are doing all of the CGI, all of the editing to make it a thing. Unfortunately, you can tell this movie's going to be heavy in CGI because their release date is March 11th, 2016. So ways off.
Are you there, Ike?
Huh?
You are there. Does this pain you as much as it pains me?
Oh, you mean the release date?
Yeah.
It hurts.
Yeah, that's a long ways off.
I'm still hopeful about it, purely because a lot of the people who work on like the Blizzard CGI cinematics are the people who are helping with the CGI in the movie, and they're trying to make it look like that. So I'm not expecting like Jar Jar Binks or anything, but it takes Blizzard a long time to make those cinematics.
Let's just hope it doesn't turn into another Diablo 3. Yeah, it'll come out 2016. Oh, wait, we had a problem. Now it'll come out in 2017. Oh, wait, there was an issue.
I don't think that'll happen, because I looked at the background of what was happening with Diablo and why it took so long, and a series of things that prevented it. At this point, they are like literally in the last step, which is just a very long last step, because it's just a lot of CGI. But I'm hopeful, because since it's a Warcraft lore storyline, Chris Metzen's involved. And if Chris Metzen's involved, I'm happy.
Should be good. Yeah, I'm excited.
I can't wait to watch it. If you were in this universe, because I have to have a question for every topic, would you want to fight on the sides of the humans or the orcs? And why?
Ike, go ahead and tackle this one first.
Can I get a minute to think about that one real quick?
You can.
Sure. I will tackle this one then. We're talking humans versus orcs?
Humans versus orcs, old school Warcraft.
Humans. because to say otherwise at that point in the lore would be to take a big steaming dump on your own race when they're being slaughtered by the dozens by another race in a giant race war. So, yeah, I'm going to have to go with humans.
The orcs felt the same way.
No, I completely understand. And I would be an orc sympathizer. But I would definitely still be on the side of the humans. Like, I probably wouldn't fight in the war, or I would be one of those people who's like, I don't officially take a side, but I like rescue women and children from either side, kind of thing. So
okay, let me put it to you this way then: whatever side you pick, you're also their race.
Oh well, probably humans, because then I could do the job without the oppression of it's an orc, it's big scary run.
Fair enough. Good logic.
But in the normal, like, if you go all the way to the World of Warcraft vanilla timeline, Horde hands down. Because by that point, it's less of you're the big scary monsters and we're the innocent people trying to defend ourselves from either side, and it's more of, okay, this is now an ingrained, societal issue, but we have our own territory, and as long as we're not screwing with the other territory, we're at a relative balance of power.
A tenuous peace is, I believe, what they talked about in World of Warcraft vanilla.
A tenuous peace, which, at that point, if it was tenuous peace, I would definitely go with the Horde.
So my thought is I'm kind of conflicted because I can see like the cool side of both. No matter what happens, there's a war coming. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I'm not going to be involved in this war because it was a giant race war that consumed both races. But I'm kind of fighting between the humans have these 3 amazing detailed kingdoms filled with architecture, glory, culture, all of this stuff. I mean, you just look around at Stormwind Keep is a good example of what it all once was. Unfortunately, Gilneas and Lordaeron are destroyed by the time you get to World of Warcraft, but at the time that I think the movie is in, they were all up in their full swing being awesome. And so I could be like, I'm part of this wonderful society, and we're defending our homelands, and that's cool, and I can be honored in that. But on the other side of that, the Horde, they're like trapped away from their home, and they're trying to build a nation, and that's also awesome. So I'm conflicted. I think I might go Alliance and or human and be from Lordaeron just so that I can like bitch slap Arthas before he goes to Northrend and just be like, no, you stay here. You are not going to destroy this wonderful kingdom.
You would change the timeline with your presence.
Oh, straight up. Knowing what I know, I would just prevent Arthas from going. Make him hang out with Uther. Be like, no, you're going to go back to being a paladin, dude.
Deal with it. Ike, you ready?
I think I'm leaning towards humans, both because they're the ones defending themselves, and also because they're the ones with all the architecture, and architecture is mathematics and engineering, so...
Fair enough. So you're saying that basically in this society, you would be, oh my god, Ike would be part of the Kingdom of Stormwind, and he would end up in the Defias Brotherhood. He'd be part of that group that rebuilt Stormwind after the war.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
And you'd end up being... You would, like, be Edwin Van Cleef's bud. It's like, rubbing elbows with him.
Some of these terms you are throwing at me up on the interwebs.
You're just like, alright, Defias Brotherhood, what's going on with that?
Yep.
See, we've got the unique advantage here on the podcast of the normal crew that's here. 3 out of the 4 of us have got like 10 to 15 years under our belts of playing these games and reading this lore. It's a very expansive world. But yes, so there you go. We've
Generally, everybody would be human, although they would be. Each one of us, I think, found their own reason for doing what they would do, and overall, I think all of us pull a little bit of honor out of what we do.
I agree.
What we would choose.
And look, I'm gonna go on this tangent here. In the original Three Kingdoms, Lordaeron was like the kingdom between the three humans. Because Gilneas they had their issues before the Worgen Plague hit and the gates were sealed. Like, Gilneas just was not the kingdom to be in.
Yeah.
I would argue in many ways it's better now that they are cursed and they have to deal with that. It's brought out the best in them as the Worgen. Stormwind, as we previously mentioned via the Defias Brotherhood and all that corruption and playing through quests in Stormwind through vanilla beast, really any expansion, just hang out in Stormwind, play the Stormwind lore quests. It's like a stupid political nonsense all the time, filled with backstabbing and terror.
Yeah.
Lordaeron, ruled by King Tyrannus Menethil, was awesome.
That's why it had to die.
Well, of course it did, because it was the biggest kingdom, it was the strongest kingdom, and it was the best kingdom. So it had to die, and it had to die from the prince.
Yep.
And I just want to stop that from happening so it can be the best kingdom. And Stormwind can fall. That's what I wanted. Just like a dead zone where Stormwind, Westfall, and Night Vale. No, that's the podcast. Night. The place east of Westfall.
My brain just tried to process that. East of Westfall, and I was like, directions. I can see it on the map in my brain, but there's no. It's also, I'm interlaying Skyrim's map over it accidentally, so because I've looked at that much more recently.
It's north of Stranglethorn Vale, south of Elwyn Forest, east of Westfall, and like southwest of Stone Talon.
Yeah, like I said, I can kind of see it in my head, but
this is what we do, internet. We're nerds. Anyway, we're gonna go on our break right now. We'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes.
Sounds like a plan.
We'll see you then. And we're back with the SaR podcast. We've got Thorin. He joined us. He was napping. That was his sudden unavailability. He's a Snorlax hiding in the tall grass.
Well, we poke-a-fluted his ass out. So
Darn right we did.
Almost literally, in fact.
God. All right. So go ahead and introduce yourself, Thorin.
All right, so I'm SaR Thorin. You can find me on YouTube's. Don't have anything up yet, but I'm in these lovely gentlemen's videos, and none of the other one's videos, though. He is sadly not a member of us. But it's okay, because he's awesome. And yeah, I think that's it.
It's very true. All right, and then I've got a correction to make, because if I don't, I'll hate myself forever. We were talking about the land of Duskwood, which is, yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Duskwood is east of Westfall, and it is southwest of the Red Ridge Mountains, not the Stone Talon Mountains. I'm so sorry to all of my fellow Alliance players. I feel horrible, but I've been out of the game for like 3 years.
well, it's because you are horrible. So.
Well,
Oh.
burlap sack, my friend, burlap sack. Anyway, Tree God actually had a topic to discuss.
Yes, actually. An interesting topic. One of the big things from Comic-Con, one of the #1 big things, and I have no freaking idea why it's #1, but the Batman versus Superman Dawn of Justice footage was leaked on the internet, and I got a chance to see it before it got shut down.
What?
Yeah, and it... Let me say this. It was somebody videotaping it at Comic-Con, okay? So you open up on this scene and you see Batman and people cheer. And I get that because it's the goddamn Batman. All right?
Hard to argue.
Yeah. And he's
Very
standing next to the bat signal and he turns it on. And it's shining into the sky on clouds. And then it does this like cut to the clouds and there's Superman flying there. And his eyes light up red as he's looking down at Batman, and Batman looks up at him, and his eyes have that glowing that you'll see in the picture if you look up Batman versus Superman, because they have like posters and stuff starting to come out. So that's it. That's the whole thing. Just the two of them looking at each other on a rainy day.
Is that seriously the teaser trailer?
That's the teaser trailer. Okay? And people
Great.
screamed bloody freaking murder about how awesome this thing was. And I went, that was the most boring teaser trailer I have ever seen in my life. I have no different interest in seeing the movie now. Congratulations, you didn't catch me at all. On top of that, another thing, because this is going to tie into the question that I want to ask.
What in
ooh.
God's name? I think
Stuff
Batman is at
all
Thorin's
over.
house. And he was just like, oh, really? Really? You think the trailer's bad? Throw over your dishes.
Oh, take you down.
You know what's funny about that is that actually is what happened. See you, Batman. Bye. I don't know. I think he's drunk. I think he got lost and getting to the movie, and he just kind of showed up here. So, whatever.
Fair enough.
Okay, so that was a nerdy, like, positive nerdy freak out that was completely over the top and stupid. Now, the negative one that I found was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles released a poster for Australia, and it's the Ninja Turtles jumping from a New York City building that is exploding above them, right? And they're just coming down from the building.
Michael Bay, what?
Now, here's the thing. The release date for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Australia is September 11th. And so they released this September 11th poster, and people exploded with anger at the fact that they have an exploding building in New York City, and the release date is September 11th. Literally, this is some of the stupidest stuff I've ever heard in my life. I get that people are still reeling from 9/11. I get that it was a travesty. I understand that completely. And I do think that this was a bit of a goof on their part, that they just didn't kind of see that. But I think that the level of
Backlash.
Backlash is just ridiculous.
Well, especially
And
considering because September 11th is a Friday in
Right.
September, and it's a movie.
Right.
Movies are
It's-
released on Fridays. Congratulations, guys.
What?
Like,
It's
that's just what
crazy.
they do. Okay, so let's see. There were a bunch of people who did that, who were talking about it, even down to Nerd Truth. Nerd Truth is, a pretty big people who, like, they try to suss things out in nerd culture, and they do some pretty good stuff. But they even freaked out. They were like, what was Paramount thinking? Paramount was thinking their release date and their poster had nothing to do with each other. They came up with the release date months and months and months ago. So there's like no reason to freak out about
And
this.
their poster is like, I don't know, an action movie.
Yeah. I'm sorry, it's just a building.
Their posters.
It's a random building in freaking New York. It literally, like, you can see the top of the building from the poster. So it's like an explosion above the building. Like, it doesn't even really look like it's the building exploding because you can see, just look up the poster. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's ridiculous. So that was the negative, that ridiculous, overdrawn. The positive one was Superman versus Batman. So my question to you guys is, in the past, what has been your single most WTF moment as far as people overreacting to something in nerd culture?
I think it's this right now, because I'm looking at this poster.
Yeah.
This building is like, 10 stories tall, made entirely of glass on the outside, and looks nothing like either of the trade centers.
Huh.
It's ridiculous. It really is. It's just flat out ridiculous.
TMNT. Well, now I want to see this because it's like, let's see.
Yeah, it hits-
I'll bet you I type in TMNT poster and it's the first thing that comes up.
It was.
Yep.
It hits TMNT. TMNT hits theaters in the U.S. on August 8th. Okay? But it just happens to be coming out September
Australia.
11th in Australia.
Right.
So on top of all of this, in Australia, if you're Australian and you have like really strong feelings about September 11th, I mean, good on you, I guess. But why?
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't care.
Yeah,
If
if
it didn't
terrorists
happen-
attacked Australia, I would not care what day that happened. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be an interesting historical fact, but it's not my country. I don't care.
I think. Wait, is it unique to Australia? Like, is this poster unique to
Yes.
Australia? Is
Yeah.
there?
It was the production poster for Australia that they have now removed because people were freaking out so badly.
I was gonna say they probably got rid of that really fast.
They discontinued its use. They apologized openly. They said that it was a mistake. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was just a thing that happened. Calm down.
Well,
I mean,
I would say it was a coincidental mistake. I mean, it wasn't something they could be expected to catch, since, yeah, it's Australia. Like you said, they're not going to remember the date that happened on, since it happened in a completely different country from them. So, they're going to remember it happened, sure, but not the date.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, they'll remember the date because everyone knows it around the world as 9/11, but it's not one of those things for them that's in the forefront of their mind.
And I'm not saying like that we shouldn't remember 9/11. Of course we should. It was a big deal. But I am saying that the entire world shouldn't have to come to a screeching halt on 9/11 because it's 9/11. That's like saying that
If that happens, the terrorists win.
Yeah.
I'll throw that out there. That
I
was
mean-
their goal.
that's like, okay, that's like saying every year on D-Day no one can do anything out of respect for D-Day.
Which, ironically enough, yeah, like that's the thing that no one like. I challenge you to ask like 5 people you know what day D-Day is, and I'll bet you like one of them maybe might know.
Dude, I love World War II. I don't know what day D-Day was.
I was gonna say, yeah, I know that you love World War II.
See,
So yeah,
I can tell you so many different things about the various different battles on D-Day, why certain beaches succeeded better than others, different cool stories about different paratrooper squads, all sorts of stuff. I could not for the life of you tell you what date it was on D-Day.
Yeah, and that's just the thing. Yeah, I'm looking it up too. June 6th. We went through the D-Day thing and we didn't even know.
Yeah.
June 6th, 1944. So, I mean, that's the point, is that, honestly, the world shouldn't have to stop on that day. We should definitely take pause and remember what happened. But we should not have to come to a screeching halt on that day.
It's any time that people take just immense offense at something that is clearly impassing or unintentional or all of these things, and it's just absurd.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have another one that they remember happening that was just blown out of proportion for no reason?
I actually do have one. In Firefall, which was the claimed first person shooter RPG, third whatever the hell, I can't remember what they were trying to do and failed, unfortunately. But the original character model for one of the classes in the female version, the aesthetic that they were going for with this class was asymmetry, and so one of the legs on the girl's suit is cut off mid-thigh, and there was this big butthurt rage on the internet about treating women in video games as sex objects, and it was it's not even that big of a deal if it's the aesthetics. And they're like, well, the guy doesn't have a mid-thigh cut off, and it was well, yeah, that's not a male fashion. What guy is gonna ever do that?
I was gonna say, it's that doesn't happen.
I can see a girl wearing asymmetric pant legs and making that. I can see that it still looks aesthetically pleasing. It works. If a guy had one long pant leg and one short pant leg, we'd be like,
I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that I saw at least 3 or 4 people while we were out shopping today wearing booty shorts, and they were all women, not men.
Exactly.
So it's not like women don't do that.
I don't think women want to see men in that.
I'm gonna say that as well. But on top of that, that is the only thing that was an issue with this outfit. It didn't have massive cleavage showing. It didn't have arrows pointing to the butt or anything on it.
It wasn't Mad Moxie.
Exactly, it wasn't Mad Moxie from Borderlands. But there was this big internet rage movement about it, and I actually appreciated it. Unlike most people, most developers, when something like that's to happen, they're like, "Oh, we're really sorry about this, that, and the other, and we're fixing." Red 5 basically was just that's stupid. That your complaint is ridiculous, and we're not going to change. If you are seriously taking offense to this, you need to calm down. That's all we're gonna offer you.
If you don't like it, don't buy the game.
Exactly. Which naturally, because they're the raging internet sensationalists people, made them angrier, and I just laughed. But
yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Make the females wear clothes.
Did you look it up?
Yeah. It's they are wearing clothes. Shut up.
Make what?
That's annoying. That's just all kinds of annoying. There's already such a problem with there is a legitimate problem in gaming with women being over-sexualized. Well, yeah. So don't bring it up on things where it doesn't belong. There are plenty of places where that argument is completely legitimate.
Oh yeah.
And by bringing it up in this case, you basically throw a wrench into the workings of any arguments, regardless of which way you actually believe on the matter or this, that, and the. It's just you're just destroying the vessel.
Yeah, it's you're making it look like people. You're making it look like the gaming industry isn't allowed to show any skin whatsoever without getting backlash, and then they're going to stop doing it entirely, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, why can't women be attractive in video games anymore? It's like being an asshole.
At the end of the day, everything in video gaming aesthetics should be left up to the game developers, and it's their creative liberties. I mean, short of actually making like stuff that would create an AO rating, which technically still is their
prerogative.
Yeah, they're allowed to if they want. It's just they've got to know that the ESRB is going to give them that AO sticker.
Yeah.
But,
which they should be able to.
Yeah.
That's the rating system.
But, I mean, no one wants to get the AO sticker, so they're not going to do it.
Right.
But beyond that, like, just let them do what they think is aesthetically the best. That's what they're paid to do. It's the art director of the game. Like,
yeah.
You can have art in so many different directions. I mean, I've seen...
Who's listening to music? Yeah. Where's that music coming from?
Not my end.
Oh. Hey, Grant.
Is that Taylor Swift?
Hey, I don't know what it is. Hey, Grant.
Yeah.
Could you turn it down a little bit? I'm doing a Skype call and such.
This is hilarious.
Thank you, good sir.
Your Taylor Swift is being publicly broadcast across.
I was gonna say, it's like, podcast.
That was amazing.
So you should have saved the Thorin IRL sticker for this video.
Jesus. Oh my god.
That first one totally was Batman, though.
Okay,
it
well,
totally was.
That's fair enough, I suppose.
Oh yeah.
So long story short, internet. What we're trying to say is we understand that there are movements and things that people want to correct, but don't be stupid about it.
Yeah.
Like, there's a time and a place. And both of the topics we discussed were neither the time nor the place.
Yeah.
So, and that's how we feel. If you disagree with us, comment.
Stop watching the videos.
No. Keep watching the videos, just comment and tell us that we suck.
Oh yeah, okay. We need to do this.
We do.
Well, but just also beyond that, I'm never going to tell someone to not comment if it's a negative comment, because if they keep commenting, my stats keep going up. I don't care. Tell me whatever. It doesn't.
Yeah, rage at us all you want.
Rage so hard. So hard.
Phrasing.
Make video responses in rage.
Oh yeah.
Man,
this is great.
That would be great. The first video response.
Just a rage video.
I believe Obzy is on YouTube watching this because she's on my YouTube account, and if you look in the comments right now, it says that I said Duskwood, and I did not do that. So she knew.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. I thought that you had just done that during the break.
No. Nope, that wasn't me.
Or was it? And you didn't know.
Kudos, Obsy, kudos.
This is, for those of you who don't know, Obzy is Obscure Dad is my mother, and also played World of Warcraft with us. She is a bomb healer, like hardcore parkour bomb healer. She is also a gamer, a geek, and a nerd, and a wonderful person. So,
sounds about right.
Want to fight about it? But no.
Want to fight about it?
Anyway, the next topic that we'll be discussing is, and I know this one's going to be fun, because I've read some extended stuff on this. The Mass Effect 4 game, though it's probably not going to be called Mass Effect 4.
Wait, what?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no, Mass Effect, they're going to continue making Mass Effect games. It's just no longer following Shepard.
Okay, I was like, how?
Yeah. This is old news. That was most people's reaction as well. Was just like, you can't have what's, and they were like, guys, it's not. It's gonna be totally separate.
Totally different storyline. I can see. Like that makes sense.
It's going on currently with the Shepard storyline because at the end of the Shepard storyline, like there's no machines anymore, so it's kind of hard to use Mass Effect relays. But
lies.
But so it'll be concurrent, but not Shepard storyline. And in Mass Effect 4 or whatever the hell they end up calling it, they are going to bring back the Mako. The, like, that's the little ground
bold move.
Tree God. The ground vehicle that you hate with a fiery burning passion.
Oh God.
Yep.
It's called a Mako.
Hate that thing.
There's a whole spectrum of ways that people feel about it across the internet. I'm currently leaning towards dislike it just because of how many times I would be like driving, clip on the ground, and fly. And it got real old real fast. Let's put it that way.
Oh God! Someone left their nail polish in the road.
Someone left a penny on the train tracks.
My space car can't handle it.
But that being said, I liked the concept of vehicle combat in Mass Effect. I just think that they did it terribly, and then they never brought it back. So
we have a couple of comments. Just attention.
We have people watching?
Yes. Zoso Knight says, "Is Thorin's roommate prepping for dinner rush in a restaurant?" Which was what I was thinking for a while there too.
Yeah.
And
cooking with Batman.
Obviously says you're very quiet, Mort. So just so you know, hopefully that's fixed. But
I'm strong and silent.
Mic. Straight up, no questions about it. How am I now?
I think that's fine. I never thought that you were silent before.
I didn't either, so I'm not hearing.
Well, it's a question of the video nonsense. All the settings change, and there's not much that I can do when we're rushing to start the podcast.
Because we're half an hour behind starting the podcast.
Normally I take 5 to 10 minutes and balance all the sound levels, but this time I was like, I'm making a new background because this is last minute. And trying to find pictures on the internet. All of the problems. Help! But yeah, so hopefully it's better now. That's all we got going. That's really all we got going. Anyway, where was I? Oh no, my notes went away. There we go.
Oh no!
Alright, so the Mako. There's a whole range of feelings about the Mako. And some people are sitting there going, how dare you bring that vehicle back?
How dare you bring it back?
Is Batman killing someone now?
It's really bloody. I'm sorry. I'll clean it up later.
Mass Effect was half great game, half super shitty Excite Bike. I really like it.
That is literally the best thing I've ever heard.
I'm voting for that as top comment of the day. So
yeah.
Tonight, if you would like to click on the contest link at the very top of the description and do the things to enter that contest so that you can, in fact, hopefully get a Guns of Icarus Online Steam key and play with us in a video, because that's the kind of comments I want.
Who the heck is the Zoso Knight? Now I want to know. No, now I want to know. Now I want to know.
Now I want to. Do they have videos?
Don't say it in the comments. Zoso Knight, whoever you know, just contact them personally and be like, I was watching your video.
And Internet, why do we say
He's in that voice.
Oh, exactly. Why do we say whoever you know? Because Internet, if you're here and you don't know one of us, thank you so much for watching.
You're one of 6 people watching. If you know us, holy crap, man. That's dedication.
You don't know us, which means you found my channel and like the SaR crew, which my proverbial hat's off to you, sir.
You're like the first person.
Yeah.
This is how our life is.
We appreciate the hell out of you, though. Oh god. Anyway,
yeah,
so what are your all's thoughts about the Mako coming back? And I'm going to presume they're going to make it not nail polish barrel roll, and it actually functions like marginally okay.
Do a barrel roll.
If that happens, what do you feel like the Mako's going to do for Mass Effect 4?
I think it's going to make it terrible. I think it's going to make the whole thing burn in hell.
Well, if it's not following the storyline, we have to start off with the Mako again, because they had the Mako back in the first game. So it just makes sense with the story arc, right?
Burn and die.
They didn't have the shuttles yet. So that...
So they've got to go down and fly in.
I'm so...
Oh my god. Alright.
Ike, what do you think?
On this one, I mean, there's a company I imagine they'd
You're
be
gonna
able.
have to start all that all over.
I was about to ask, is he cutting out for you too?
Yeah.
Every
Okay.
time that Thorin's camera makes noise, Ike's camera cuts out. I don't know why.
Thorin, perfectly still. Go, Ike.
I'm willing to give BioWare the benefit of the doubt on this one. I mean, I figure BioWare is a pretty good video game company. They can probably learn from their mistakes on the first Mako. Unless, of course, EA kicks them out the door with their pants off, then that's EA being EA. So...
That's true.
I really hope that doesn't happen.
I feel like at some point I'm just going to have to like throw together a fundraiser that's basically titled "We Hate EA. Let's give someone else money." Like,
Yeah, the
It's
whole
a
purpose of
Kickstarter.
it. Let's build money to give to someone not EA.
and they can do whatever they want with it.
Spread it out. Spread it out.
Spread love. Except for EA.
Because we want to watch them burn. Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with Ike. I think that they can make it work. If so long as BioWare actually has the chance to build the game and they're not forced to make a 3-color ice cream cone of crap.
If they make an area, this is the only way that I'm going to be okay with the Mako, alright? If in the game there's an area that consists of a number of ramps, like a spiral track leading up to those ramps, and in the middle, just a ton of boxes. And you just drive off a ramp into the boxes and then respawn on the track. That will make me happy, because the whole time I can just spend hours going, "Oh, Jesus, boxes!" And it would make me happy.
Film it.
That, no.
You'll film it and just make it the new intro video to every video.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Yes, you
Oh, boxes! I'm in heaven!
Oh god. I'm like terrified for when you amp up and like get the same kind of recording software that I have, so you can have picture-in-picture. You're just gonna like stack Home Depot boxes around you and be like, "It's boxes."
You have no idea. That should totally be my background. Whenever I record anything, I'm just gonna have boxes behind me.
Yeah, that's good.
This has become a thing.
SaR Tree God, the box guy.
The Box King.
This is gonna be in the future. So someone's gonna like distantly in the future, when we've got millions of subscribers somehow, is going to like see the group and then be talking to one of his friends that's familiar with us and be like, I really like that one, the guy with all the boxes. And they're like, "You mean the boxes?"
You mean the king of the boxes? Oh,
The Boxes.
oh, I couldn't stand all the fame. It would exacerbate my asthma.
You're a horrible person. Anyway, make it a Mass Effect.
Mako, screw it.
Oh, that's what we were talking about. Okay.
We've had our thoughts expelled upon that. Make sure to comment about your thoughts that you've expelled on that. God. I'm just never mentioning boxes to you again.
Wait, you mean the Boxes?
So back on the line of normal topics. Speaking of, we've already kind of talked about a lot of the movies that got announced at Comic-Con. And one of the other things that got announced, I don't know if it was announced at Comic-Con or just while Comic-Con was happening, but Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie that's coming out relatively soon, if it hasn't already come out. I've actually kind of lost track.
Oh, if it has, we need to go see it.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Wait, what now?
tomorrow night.
I have somehow missed whatever just happened.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yes. It's It's coming out. I have a group of people going on the weekend, so it's at least out at that point.
Thursday, July 31st.
Literally this weekend.
Thursday.
This weekend is opening weekend.
Yeah, it is.
So I think that it's fair to say
It got a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my gosh, what?
wow.
Wait. By critics? By who?
They hate good movies.
9 out of 10 by IMDb, 97% by Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh my gosh, how?
No one knows.
Hey, everyone must see this movie then.
I mean, I already love Guardians of the Galaxy because I read this one comic and I'm good. Like, I just need to get more of them and read more of them and watch more of it.
Okay, yeah.
That's fair. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, they gave it a 90. Like, that must have been, the 97 must have been audience, because the tomato meter is actually a 92%.
Well, I think when they just...
Oh, no!
I think when they do it just generally, it's a combo of the tomato meter and the audience.
Oh, okay.
So it's weighted up to 97 between the two of them.
Dang.
Which is quite possibly the highest rating I've ever seen on Rotten Tomatoes. So there you go.
Yeah.
Internet, if you weren't intending to do it...
do it.
Okay, I'm going to take a pause because I just clicked back onto the podcast and call out another amazing comment by Zoso Knight. Quote, "Not to be a veterinarian Dr. Dick Horsemouth, but I already have a Guns of Icarus CD key."
A what?
How dare you, veterinarian Dr. Dick Horsemouth?
Hickory smoked horse buttholes. Hickory what? Smoked what?
Okay, whoever this is needs to comment, like, every time we do this.
I just think we need to get them on the videos and make them more watchable. Anyway.
What?
We're watchable.
We're totally watchable. What are you talking about?
We are watchable.
We have 8 people watching. Whoa, we have 8 people watching right now.
Wait, what?
That might be a high.
That's almost in the double digits. I don't know if I can handle this. I'm out.
Tell your friends! Anyway. Guardians of the Galaxy. We're going to go watch it this weekend.
Oh, yeah, we are.
Oh, man. And all of that stupid build-up and hype and diversion is to say that they have announced already, Marvel Studios has announced, that the sequel to Guardians of the Galaxy will be in 2017. Which means they're already so confident in this movie that they have cast, planned, and set a date for the release of the sequel.
That's... dang. I mean, it sounds like you're...
They're looking at this going like, yeah, no, Chris Pratt can totally carry Star-Lord. We got this. Done.
The man is perfect for the role!
He is. He really is. I can't help it.
Who calls him that? Himself, mostly.
Once again, perfect Chris Pratt.
It's... yeah.
Oh, he's a champion. Okay, Chris Pratt, if you watch this and want to, like, be on one of the podcasts, we'll totally do that. Open invitation forever. Just have you yell at us for being nerds.
Be careful what you wish for.
You can be on the camera below me, and I won't say anything through the whole podcast. I'll just stare down at you.
Creepily. Like a boss. Anyway. So what do you think... I mean, there's a lot of reveals about Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm going to throw several of them out. Nathan Fillion is going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy in a cameo appearance. The first Guardians of the Galaxy has some of, quite frankly, from the trailer, some of the best CGI work I've ever seen. It's astounding how good Rocket Raccoon and Groot look.
True.
Let's see. The plot has had a couple of leaks, and I'm just not... I know it's been leaked. I don't know what the leaks are because I'm not doing that to myself.
Nope.
But a lot of things have happened about it, and Guardians of the Galaxy #2 is coming. What do you think? Like, is this gonna be a 3-part movie? Is this gonna be three movie series, different movies? And how awesome is it going to be? And how is it going to compare to the Avengers in quality? Go.
I don't think it's going to be as good as the Avengers, simply because the Avengers was the first real one to kick off. It's always going to have that we were the first superhero collaboration movie
Mhm.
to have it going for it. It's always going to be like the original Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first of its kind.
The other thing with the Avengers is you had a lot of build-up leading up to it. Like, you had the Iron Man movie, and you had the Captain America movie, and you had the Thor movie. There was a lot of build-up leading to the Avenger movie. In addition to how it was the first of its kind.
That's true.
I want the Rocket Raccoon movie. No, scratch that. I want the Groot movie.
Well, I mean, Groot is basically kind of just Rocket Raccoon's buddy.
I know, but wouldn't that be great? Just a bunch of one-liners and innocent mistakes of, "Oh, I'm sorry."
There's an actual fight scene in that Rocket Raccoon comic with Groot in it, and all he says, literally all he says in that entire comic is, "I am Groot." He's getting his like teeth kicked in, and he's like, "I am Groot."
He has teeth?
I don't know, wood teeth, whatever.
He's like George Washington.
I don't have enough access to the comics to be able to say if he says more than that or not. I don't know enough about Guardians of the Galaxy specifically, but
It's not okay.
he seems like one of the best characters that's going to say nothing and contribute to the story almost zero.
Yeah, but Vin Diesel. I mean, come
Oh
on.
yeah, no, it's gonna be.
Huh?
Vin Diesel is the actor for Groot.
He's the voice actor for Groot.
They got his face for CGI.
He's the voice actor.
For
Yeah.
He says nothing.
I am.
Well, it's like he's really well known for being the robot in Iron Giant,
Yeah.
and the Iron Giant hardly ever says anything.
Wait, seriously?
But what he says is pretty much made the stage for Vin Diesel as an actor, because that movie was wonderful.
Yeah, that movie.
Without
I've
a doubt.
only heard.
Oh, Zolso Knight, Howard the Duck crossover is now a possibility. Thanks, Guardians of the Galaxy. Howard the Duck will never come to theaters, or I will
Howard the Duck?
do terrible things. Don't even look it up. It is not worth your
No.
time.
Nope, this is happening now. I have to.
Oh,
You have to
I have to know now.
the only time that Howard the Duck was allowed in comic books whatsoever was when he showed up in Marvel Zombies and he got his head blown off.
Fair enough.
Wait. So it's like Donald Duck as a superhero? Is that what this
That's
is?
Is it just looks like Donald Duck.
Yeah.
Well, no, someone literally drew. He literally looks like Donald Duck.
Yeah.
That is literally what I'm getting from this. Spider-Man and Howard the Duck. Oh my gosh, what? I'm not kidding you. I see a cover for a comic called Spider-Man and Howard the Duck. Team up suggestion.
All right, now I'm done. No, Howard the Duck. No.
Oh my
So,
gosh, it totally
moving on-
happened.
Moving on into something else that's not Howard the Duck. There's a game called Hearthstone that we've talked about in the past to some extent. It's a Blizzard game. It's a Blizzard collectible card game, CCG, that is played on the computer, and it's free to play with the option to buy packs and whatnot to help.
Yeah, it is.
It's had an amazing reception, if by all accounts, throughout the gaming world, just because it is a notoriously well-made game. It's relatively well-balanced for a card game, and it had a lot of replay value. I mean, I have tons of videos of me playing Hearthstone back in the day before they made a lot of balance changes and before the meta got hardcore. No, dude, there's legitimately people have spreadsheet crafted Hearthstone.
Impossibly powerful decks.
It's just absurd how much thought has gone into it. Again, when I used to play and I had the Hearthstone videos, I was like,
Right.
this is a good card, and that was fine. That was all you needed. Nowadays, it's like, this is a good card, but does it synergize both with my deck and against other decks? And how well does it do that on a stat point scale? And I'm just like, that's too much for me.
I was gonna say I just go with like a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. That's all the farther I get. I'm just like, oh, this card is powerful. Let's just do that.
Yeah, so Hearthstone for me got to the point where it was too intense for me to put forth effort into it. But they have just started to release a series of single-player competitions, basically, where you are going to go through raids or instances or what have you, and they release them progressively. The one that's come out so just literally, I think, last week is Naxxramas in Hearthstone.
Yeah, I think so.
Exactly. Well, it's not a think so. I've already done it. I filmed it. It was
Oh, you've already... Okay. Fair enough.
This last week here has been the Spider Quarter of Naxxramas, and it was incredibly fun and surprisingly difficult.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they were good. They were good plays. Oh, is Batman's girlfriend there too?
Yes, Batman's girlfriend is here too. Yeah. I can't see. It's too dark. I can't tell which girlfriend is over here. But pretty sure they're making out or something. I don't know what to do.
All that talking, there's no way they're making out. Unless they have two mouths. Oh god, do they have
I now just imagine anyone with two mouths.
Batman has two mouths.
Batman, yes, Batman does have two mouths. Though, as much fun as Thorin IRL has been, I might move outside so that we don't keep having interruptions.
I'm making a lot of noise to make a funny joke. And by a funny joke, I mean a really bad joke.
Yay, I love really bad funny jokes.
Well, to keep YouTube entertained, where does the general keep his armies? In his sleeveys!
Wow.
I don't get it. I'm probably just lame, but I don't get it.
Man,
Armies?
IRL outside.
Yes.
Where does he get his armies?
Okay, by the angle of the sun.
In his sleeveys, you get it now?
I don't even think I'm going to gratify that with a response. It was beautiful.
Alright, we got another Zosonite comment. Decent CCG Android app, cards and castles. It's fun, quick, and you can get all the cards without the in-app purchases. Free to play, I suggest. It's awesome.
Fair enough.
You suggest that it is awesome, or you suggest the game because it is awesome? Punctuation, good sir.
So the
Punctuation. It's important.
So the joke.
The Batman's girlfriend, was it Batgirl or Batwoman?
Funny because you have comics.
Comics!
That makes you.
It's funny because comics.
I'm a nerd.
That's not New 52, is it?
That is.
It is New 52.
I bought all 8
Yeah,
of
it
my
is.
Volume 1s, and I've been slowly reading through them.
But that was another podcast.
Oh god, alright. Let's see, we've got one topic left. Oh, sorry, we're not even done with this. Hearthstone Naxxramas, single player mode. It's relatively fun. What do you think about collectible card games any really on computer-based card games having single player modes? Do you think there's a future in this, or do you think Hearthstone is still just waiting to fail, and it's just that Blizzard fans like me keep supporting it enough that it won't?
I personally think that it's gonna survive just fine. I mean, Magic the Gathering has survived when they transferred over to the digital world. The game survived just fine. Like the digital game is still thriving versus, riding the coattails of the actual game success. So I think that it'll be fine. Especially since they have a different way of doing things.
They just recently released another installment of their Duels of the Planeswalkers series. So.
These are all things I didn't know because I stopped following Magic.
Yeah, it's doing fine. I think Hearthstone's doing great. I don't see any downfall anytime soon.
It's one of those things that's probably now its own animal, and so even if like for some reason someone stopped perpetuating it, like there would probably be like fan reboots of it or something, or someone else would like, I don't know. The only like big kind of fan-ish company that's coming to my mind is Rooster Teeth. Just like, you know, like they just kind of came out of the ground and were like, "Hey, we're doing cool things. Support us." I feel like something like that might happen if for some reason Blizzard was like, "Nah, Hearthstone, no." I feel like someone would be like, "But this is cool."
Quite possible. And I will continue to enjoy it and produce videos. And as a side note, Naxxramas, this is the thing that surprised me. I only played normal mode so far, but the computers are good. Like, they actually know what they're doing.
Oh.
It was terrifying. They were, like, making rational decisions.
The first AI released in Hearthstone.
I actually really, really like where AI is going as far as video games. They did an AI increase a little while back in League of Legends as well. That just made, it made them so much better. That they make better rational decisions. They have, better parameters for, figuring things out. And, if
can actually pull shots pretty well right now.
Yeah. AIs in video games have always been the butt joke, and now it's not starting to become that way, because I think that we're having kind of this transition into players in general. If you're a video gamer, it means that you play video games pretty constantly, so we're starting to get really good at them. Yeah. So the AI has to be better in order to continue to challenge us in the right way.
Yep.
Fair enough.
True story, brah.
Alright, so since we started late, I am going to...
do not support boobs.
What? Huh?
True story, brah.
Oh, gotcha.
Call me a bra.
I was like, what happened in the comments that I haven't been...
Not physically.
See, you don't support boobs because you're not a bra.
Not physically.
I'm so sad. I am going to hold the podcast on a little bit longer because we got that late start, and I have precisely one more topic, which is the only reason that I'm doing so. Video game piracy, love it or hate it, is a thing that exists, and it's, I honestly think it's not the number one kind of piracy. I will guarantee you personally that, movie and video game piracy is way bigger than video game piracy.
Mm-hmm.
But video game piracy is the only one that seriously makes news because the video game industry actually cares, whereas the movie industry is like, don't do that, we can't stop you.
That's what I was just thinking. It's like, how... Yeah.
But England has been a very strong country to crack down on people who do pirate content. And, you've seen, if you've been up on it in the past several years, so many different people who have literally gone to jail for pirating video games because they were caught in England.
They've been hunting pirates for years now, so,
But not ninjas?
It's understandable. Yeah, no, not ninjas. You can't even find those guys.
There's no
That's true. That's true.
No country recognizes in-game loot and currency as having real-world value, so there's not much you can do.
Except for thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars avatars that have been sold from various video games in the past. But
But no, there's no real world value.
No. Nope.
Listen to us, internet. There's no money in EVE. There is no way that one of my friends sold his World of Warcraft account for $500. It didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
Gold farming and gold purchasing, it doesn't exist. And it's all ones and zeros, and there's no real value to it. Just like actual, United States money. There's no.
I was gonna say, just like debit cards. Yeah. There's no real world value.
There was absolutely not a time that a man spent $250,000 building a space station inside of a video game, and then within a year had made back his money in profits off of selling off real estate within his giant space station. That wasn't the thing.
No.
Look it up.
We don't have strong feelings about this. Anyway,
Sarcasm.
Nope.
in England, though they are not taking the anti-piracy laws off the books per se, they are intentionally decriminalizing it. They have passed something recently in one of the houses that makes it so that the anti-piracy laws, the new method of enforcement, is that you will receive 4 letters informing you that what you're doing is illegal. And after those 4 letters, nothing will happen.
4 strongly worded morality convincing letters.
Exactly.
Be sorry.
Nothing will happen officially, but they'll have drive-by arguments. Yeah. People just pulling up to their house, rolling down the window and going, "You shouldn't be doing this!" And then taking off.
Exactly.
You shouldn't be doing this!
But this is a stance that England is taking to... Because they can't just take the law off the books. There's no way they're going to be able to support enough for that from the general population. Lobbyists, etc., in their country are fighting them. But they apparently are totally fine. Well, I shouldn't say totally fine, but they do not think that video game piracy, or any piracy for that matter, should be something that you end up going to prison for. Which, surprise, it's such a novel concept. And so they are basically flipping the switch and going to the other direction and just saying, meh, you can't do that.
You naughty man, you.
And how do you all feel about this?
About piracy or about the situation in England?
Meh, do whatever. We're almost done with the podcast.
Meh. I've just been thinking about piracy, like video game ninjas, this whole time to combat the video game pirates. That's what I've been thinking about.
I hate ninjas so much.
What? Okay.
You know, like within the game.
Oh, we've turned over a new leaf now. This is good.
Do you have a cutlass in your home, Mort? Do you have a flintlock pistol in your home? No. But now let me ask you this. Do you have throwing stars in your home? I believe that you do. Therefore, you take back that ninja line.
Video game ninjas, the ones who come in and steal your loot from fighting a boss.
From Loot Crate.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna try and steal. Look. I love these. All of my props are right here, by the way.
I was going to say, they're all right next to your computer. I know this, and I'm in a different state. So, but I just know this.
My props and my booze, they're all right here.
Okay, we got another Zoso Knight comment. I think the best piracy deterrent the video game industry has ever devised is the threat that all your games will be free to play with in-app purchases if we don't stop. Oh my gosh.
I can't agree with that more.
That is true. That is true.
I think I died a little on the inside.
Okay, they're all free, but you can't play them like any degree.
Can you imagine playing Skyrim, but you can only go above level 50 in any skill if you pay money?
Yeah, it's called Dead Space.
This is why I never played Dead Space.
Screw Dead Space. Good storyline.
And then you had it purchases.
Yeah, and all of that is coming on the tails. When I was reading this article about it, to help share it with you, one of the things the article pointed out is that the most pirated video games are the games with annoying DRM. The more a company intentionally attempts to prevent pirating by making everyone who uses or who buys the game legitimately pissed off, the more people who have coding experience crack the game and give it out for free out of spite.
Yep.
The least pirated games in the industry come from Valve.
And no one is surprised by this because Steam.
Not a single fuck was given that day.
We're
Literally.
giving it out. Anyway,
wait, no, I think I have one last remaining. Oh, good. No, there it goes. It's flying away. Bye.
Anyway.
That was perfect.
I'm at least a fan of the decriminalization of piracy to the extent that you're not going to be throwing a 17-year-old in prison for 10 years because he downloaded a copy of his favorite video game.
Yeah.
Wait. What? That escalated.
Yeah.
No, in England, they've literally been handing out prison sentences to anyone, regardless of age, for piracy. If they catch you, it has a prison
few years,
sentence.
maybe 10 years. It's like a tenth of your life.
Okay,
possibly. If you live a long time, that's a tenth of your life. Eighth of your life.
I threw out 10 years. I don't have a reference for that.
Okay, I was sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, what?"
Don't start quoting me on this. That was
Nope.
a.
It's too late. I'm gonna quote you now.
I don't know if it's like 6 weeks, 6 months, 10 years, life in prison. I don't know.
Life in prison.
Look, there are stupider reasons.
I was gonna say there are stupider reasons. I'm a psych major. I know this. There have been some stupid reasons in psych that we put people away for their lives. But wait,
some stupider reasons outside of psych. Dumber. Wow. What?
I'm just gonna sit here and just be happy that happened.
We might deserve to go to prison for the rest of our lives. I don't know.
You will go to prison for a very long time.
Did you breathe on the wrong flower? Because then botanists can, sue you and have you sent to prison for the rest of your life.
Wait, what?
Yeah, totally. Breathe on the wrong flower. That's endangered. How dare you? Go to prison.
Spite.
Regardless, back to piracy.
In spite, I'm just going to burn down a rainforest. Yeah.
I would be impressed if you could burn down a rainforest.
My official position is that this is a good thing. All y'all's. Ike nods. Thor nods. Tree God nod. Okay, there we go. That's the SaR Podcast official position on this. I'm rushing because we need to move towards this section, which is, this has been the SaR Podcast. Thank you all for watching. My name is SaR Mortinian. Please subscribe to me right here on my YouTube channel. Like this video, favorite this video, subscribe to this video, and share it to your friends on Facebook and or Twitter and or Tumblr and or Instagram and or pick more.
Be a whore for advertising.
Thank you. You can find me here, and you can find me on both Twitter and Facebook at Twitter/Facebook /SaR Mortinian.
I am SaR Tree God. You can find me right here on YouTube at SaR Tree God. You can find me on Facebook at SaR Tree God. You can find me on Instagram if you know my real name. Any of you out there. And you can always find me on the podcast every week because I'm always here because I live with the guy who hosts it. So I kind of can't get away from him. So.
And then I'm SaR Thorin, and you can either find me like in the grass sleeping somewhere or on YouTube's. And I mean you've heard it all before. I mean that's about it.
I'm Ike Fox, and subscribe to the SaR crowd.
We like Ike Fox so much.
And the last thing that we're going to say before we go to break is Zoso Knight's final comment while the podcast is live, which is, harshest penalty in England is either 5,000 Monopoly monies or 6 months in jail, whichever you decide will give you the most jollies. Thank you for watching. We appreciate your viewership, and we will see you next week.